Well, good morning. We are here at Principia 2010, and we're actually in Casa Montana at High Valley Ranch this morning. And I have the pleasure of being with Miss Lisa Nichols. And Lisa, you had an opportunity to spend the entire day with our graduates yesterday.
Yeah.
Share with the graduates that had not had an opportunity to be here with you what you taught us yesterday.
Well, you know, I really focused on what I call the dot that says you are here, finding out where you are currently, and then moving powerfully forward because you've released any of those limiting beliefs. You've dealt with all of those internal conversations, internal dialogue. You really step into your power. We really talked about, you know, how do I move forward with velocity because I'm comfortable with where I am. You know, one of the things that I really focused on is, you know, what's the power in the equation called you? You know, and where are you in this equation, and how can we move you forward? So we really began to look at, you know, what are some of the things that can help navigate me to the next stage, and what are the things that are holding me back? What's the unconscious conversation? I talked about your conscious conversation and your unconscious conversation are both sending out messages to the universe, and the power of your message is determined by the feeling that you walk around with, the feeling of excitement, the feeling of joy, or the feeling of trepidation, or the feeling of fear. That all of those feelings are sending a message out to the universe and sending things that mirror that back to you. So last night we were able to really get present with our feelings, really uncover and unpackage how am I feeling, and then move our feelings to a higher level. And we did it as a room, as a group, you know, hundreds of us together, or 500 people including staff, all elevated our feelings so that our vibration that we're sending off is much more powerful than it was in the morning when they woke up. It was amazing.
That sometimes speakers come here and they're, you know, they're exposed to so many amazing things, which you are continuously, and people throughout the world. But when they come to High Valley Ranch and they stand in front of the room in front of our graduates, sometimes I see them go, wow.
You saw me do it last night.
Yes, and the experience that they actually have with us as well.
Yeah.
And I just am curious what that feels like on your end, because I notice it, but you know, I can't be in that space, and I'm just curious what that feels like.
Well, yes, I've spoken in front of many audiences. Last year, I think we broke our 1 million person bar in 1 year. And so it was a lot of people. I was on the road 273 days. A lot of audiences. And what makes Principia different was the visceral, tangible love that I felt. It was the water that I didn't know I was thirsty for. And so I think what you see is a room of people who have risen to a certain level of consciousness, love, and service, from staff to volunteers. It started when I got picked up at the airport. And it's been consistent service at such a world-class level. And then you walk into a room of 400 individuals who are service and love at a world-class level. It's like, whoa. And so it was, what you see is us speakers inhaling that to carry us until we come back again.
Okay.
Because many audiences, almost every audience in front of us, they're polite.
Right.
And they're polite and they're receptive. But it's different when you step into a community that's hungry and grateful and world-class service. There's this, we're going to give you what's appropriate, and then we're going to give you what we want to give you, then we're going to give you what you deserve. And so I felt last night like my heart, my intentions were felt and acknowledged. Like, we feel and hear what you're not saying. We feel your love. So it was, I always say, when you're thirsty and don't know you're thirsty and someone gives you what you need, and you realize, wow, I really needed that. And I think speakers are in a place sometimes where we can say that, and sometimes we don't even know how to verbalize until it shows up. Like, I just kind of went, wow, what is it? Why does this feel so wonderful? Oh, because no other audience is like this. So it's a magical, special place that I was saying last night in the middle of teaching. I just stopped and I looked around the room, and the men were standing to their feet and the women were standing to their feet, and their hands are in the air, because we did this whole one hand up, two hands up if you really feel it, two hands up and stand up if it's really you. And they're standing, they're just standing boldly. I hadn't even asked them to stand up, and their hands are in the air. And as I'm walking through the room, every person I looked at, they were just shooting me so much love. And I stopped in the middle of speaking and I just said, God, I love being here with you guys. And that was totally personal, because I felt the reciprocation. I wasn't just pouring out, they were pouring back into me. And so I was never empty at any point. I wasn't empty by the end of the night, because as I was pouring into them, they each were literally pouring back into me. And I remember at the end of the night, several people came up to me, and I could feel when I would look at them, this energy would occur. And do you know, at least 4 of them, it was probably 9, 10 people that I had that experience with throughout the night. I'd look at them and I'd feel this big energy. And at least 4 of them came up to me last night while I was autographing and taking pictures, and they said, I was sending you energy. I was sending you heal. I was working on your chakras. They were all working on me, and I felt it. It was so amazing. It was just I was like, I felt it. Thank you. And so I found myself thanking them for serving me while I was serving them. You only get that at a place like Principia. You only get that at a place called the ranch. You don't get that everywhere. I've been everywhere. You don't get that everywhere. I don't get that everywhere.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you again for coming and blessing us here at High Valley Ranch at Principia 2010.
My pleasure. I'm coming back.
Indeed you are.
I'll be back.